Hello everybody and welcome back to our Fallout 4 playthrough. This is episode number 45 and I just wanted to say Happy Christmas to all you who celebrate. Anyways, last time we met the dude who known as the Father after meeting a Shaun who is not actually Shaun, and he just told us that he was Shaun. Dude looks to be at least 50 years old, so we're clearly missing a lot and I think it's time we hear it.
How is that even possible?
I know this is a lot to take in. In the vault, you had no concept of the passage of time. You were released from your pod and went searching for the sun you'd lost. But then you learned that your son was no longer an infant, but a 10-year-old boy. You believed that 10 years had passed. Is it really so hard to accept that it was not 10? 60 years. That is the reality. And here I am. Raised by the Institute, and now its leader.
But why?
But why? Why take a child? Why take you?
Ah, now that's the question, isn't it? Why me? At that time, the year 2227, the Institute had made great strides in synth production, but it was never enough. Scientific curiosity and the goal of perfection drove them ever onward. What they wanted was the perfect machine. So they followed the best example thus far. The human being. Walking, talking, fully articulate, capable of anything.
Human synths?
Human synths? Really?
Human-like synths. A great distinction. The Institute endeavored to create synthetic organics. The most logical starting point, of course, was human DNA. Plenty of that was available, of course, but it had all become corrupted. In this wasteland, radiation affected everyone. Even in their attempts to shield themselves from the world above, members of the Institute had been exposed. Another source was necessary. But then the Institute found me after discovering records from Vault 111. An infant, frozen in time, protected from the radiation-induced mutations that had crept into every other human cell in the Commonwealth. I was exactly what they needed. And so it was my DNA that became the basis of the synthetic organics used to create every human-like synth you see today. I am their father. Through science, we are family. The synths, me, and you.
You were here the whole time?
You've been down here the whole time?
I have. Yes. I know you must have questions. Please. Anything I can do to help you understand.
Kellogg.
Kellogg. He worked for you?
Kellogg. He was an Institute asset long before I arrived here. It wasn't until I became director that I learned of all the things he'd done. What kind of man he was.
You used him.
You knew the man was a psychopath, but you used him anyway?
Would you have preferred that I turned him loose on the Commonwealth? At least keeping him on a short leash kept the collateral damage to a minimum. The Institute took advantage of Kellogg's vicious nature. I will freely admit that. Institute technology prolonged his life, and his usefulness far beyond any normal human lifespan. He never failed the Institute, but his cruelty became more apparent with every completed objective. I won't lie. It's no coincidence your path crossed his. It seemed a fitting way to allow you, us, to have some amount of revenge. What else can I say to ease your mind?
I doubt that's the whole story. He's going to use us the way we would have once used a person like Kellogg. How about your mother?
Your mother. She never got to see you grow up?
Yes. What happened to her was... I've gone over the records of the incident, of course. It seems her death was an unfortunate bit of collateral damage.
Collateral damage?
Collateral damage? Is that all she was to you?
I forget that it's been such a short time for you. I don't have any direct memories. And I've had my entire life to cope with the loss. Has it always been easy? Of course not. But I've done my best to move on and live my life. For many years, I never questioned who my parents were. I accepted my situation, and that was that. With old age comes regret. And asking what if more often. But what matters now is that you and I have a chance to begin again. What else can I say to ease your mind?
Thing is, he's not really easing our mind. That statement about his mother revealed more about who he is than anything. I don't trust him. I don't really view him as a son right now.
So you're in charge of the Institute?
I am the acting director, yes. I spent decades working to reach this point. It's a responsibility I take very seriously. The Institute. It's important. It really is humanity's best hope for the future, no matter what those above ground might think of us.
Why you?
Director? Why you?
I was the most qualified for the position, obviously. I've lived my life within these walls, dedicated to science like every other member of the Institute. My hard work has paid off. Ultimately, the Commonwealth has nothing to fear from us. Whatever you've seen or heard, I know I can convince you of that. Just give me time. I know there's more for us to discuss. But the Institute is on the verge of some important breakthroughs. Your presence would be appreciated as we approach them. I've been a part of something amazing here. I've helped to build a life for myself and the people of the Institute. And now, after all these years, you have an opportunity to help with that. Doesn't that intrigue you? Isn't that what you want?
Stay here?
You want me to stay here? In the Institute?
Yes, that is what I propose. Is it so hard to imagine? The Institute can provide a better life than anything above ground. You've been in the Commonwealth. You've seen what it's like. I assure you that you are better off with us.
Dismissive?
How can you say that? How can you be so dismissive of all those people? Everything they've done?
Because it is the simple truth. And I believe you know it too. I simply ask that you give the Institute, me, a chance. A chance to show you what I've been telling you. We really do have humanity's best interest at heart. Will you take that chance?
I don't know if I trust him. I really don't know what to say. He really doesn't seem to be... I don't know, because I've seen the consequences of the Institute's actions. I really do feel manipulated. I wish Virgil would have been able to tell us more about his work. But I don't know.
Are you sure you want this?
Yes, I am. It would benefit us both to work together.
And I think that line would be what seals the I'm not going to just happily accept this. Especially because He seems to really view us as an asset. For all he says, he really seems amoral.
I just don't know.
Just give it time. Give the Institute a chance. The Institute is now your home as much as it is mine. Please take some time, get to know it. Meet the people you'll be working with. You'll want to introduce yourself to the division heads. Dr. Fillmore in Facilities, Dr. Ao in SRB, Dr. Holdren in Bioscience, and finally Dr. Lee in Advanced Systems. They've all been notified of your arrival, of course. Meet them, and then we'll discuss what comes next.
Meet the division leaders is the next quest. Tweezers, clipboard, spanner, ear examiner. Guess I can now open up sliding doors. Guess he was just sitting in here waiting for us, huh? I don't know what to think. I feel like the first thing that Suntir would do is sit and just think. For a while. Institute Central Network password required. It'll be real, I think. Really? We play this game over and over again. Lost, maybe? Nope. News?
Yes.
Status, normal. Kellogg Conrad, enhanced life expectancy. Status reports, personal notes. Director has access since shutdown. I don't want to do that yet. Kellogg's July 16, 2285. Kellogg's occasional presence continues to unnerve the others. At first I thought they were merely intimidated by his confidence and arrogance, or perhaps even afraid of his general being. Kellogg is, after all, a killer. But as I've continued to witness their reactions, gauge their sidelong glances, I've detected something else, something I probably should have anticipated. Jealousy. Kellogg is a living memorial to a forgotten program. He is an augmented human being, a cyborg really, and the benefits he has received cannot be denied. But really, the scientists here could not care less about enhanced reflexes or greater combat efficiency. No, the cause of their envy is something more practical, more primal. His enhanced life expectancy. Just how long will Kellogg live if he passes naturally? However unlikely that may be, it's hard to say. He's already more than 100 years old, older certainly than any other human in the Commonwealth other than ghouls. His complete physiology has been altered. Perhaps he'll make it to 150, maybe even 200. Let the petty have their petty jealousies. Kellogg is a living testament to the ingenuity and superiority of the Institute, and I take no small pleasure in knowing that must irritate him to no end. Interesting. Personal notes. My private musings. IO can only confirm sightings outside Vault 111 and again in Diamond City sometime later. What that means, I'm not sure. Will we actually meet? Was this all for nothing? What was all for nothing? No, not nothing. I will have learned valuable things about myself, my past, either way. Oh, this is Director Terminal 1A. Hold on. Then in that case, I want status reports. Division status reports. Bioscience. Hydroponics programs functional. FEV lab offline. Robotics synth output nominal. Production materials fully stocked. Advanced systems. Child synth project under quarterly review. Weapons diagnostics ongoing. Phase 3 behind schedule. SRB. Director Zimmer still offline. Above ground operative terminated. Retention programs functional. I assume that's Kellogg is the above ground operative. Pattern recognition algorithms ineffective. Facilities power output maxed. Air/water recycling systems functioning normally. Personal notes. The wait continues. IO can only confirm sightings outside Vault 111 and again in Diamond City sometime later. Wonder how they got these sightings. What that means, I'm not sure. Will we actually meet? Was this all for nothing? No, not nothing. I will have learned valuable things about myself and my past either way. I cannot afford to let emotion get in the way. I must simply observe and record. I'm told Kellogg has gone offline. Strangely, I hope. Find myself thinking of Dr. Walker. He had such high hopes for Kellogg, such faith in the implants and what they could mean. I still regret eliminating that project, but I know where it would have led us. Walker was never shy about his goals, and too many others were starting to listen. In the end, I believe I was justified. The Institute is about preserving humanity, not some bizarre amalgamation of biology and technology. I guess this Dr. Walker was trying to,
It's an honor to have you here, sir.
synth.
Excuse me.
Father has done remarkable things. I would not exist were it not for him.
Wow. Well, I thought we were nearing the end game. Starting to look like this is nowhere near the end game. It's a shower. Can I take a shower? Nope. So I wonder if Shaun was ever exposed to radiation. Or not. I mean, he was probably exposed to a little bit while he was outside. I also wonder what's up with these folders, if they do anything. But yeah, that's a lot of stuff. Folder. Okay, I guess they don't do anything. They're just there. Huh. Preserved cigarette pack. A lot of cameras. Bourbon, coffee cups, stim pack, and addictol. What'd you get addicted to here?
Shaun, about this synth.
You mean the child? It's a fascinating project, really. There are issues to be solved, of course, but we've made remarkable progress.
Why you?
Why build it to look like you?
We'd advanced the technology behind synths to a point where this struck me as an interesting variation. A new angle, if you will. Modeling it after myself seemed only natural, what with the Institute's records and my genetics and physiology. I'll make sure it's brought back online in the near future. You'll have an opportunity to interact with him further. But I'll admit I'm curious. As a parent looking for a child, looking for the younger version of me, what do you think? Do you think you could love him? Like you would a real boy?
Love a synth?
Seriously? You really believe a human could love a synth?
That's a difficult question. I suppose it depends on how closely we've managed to mimic human behavior and emotions. Yours is a unique position. You may be the only one that's truly able to answer these questions right now. I wouldn't claim to know everything you're feeling, but if in some small way the boy's presence can help, I hope you'll keep an open mind.
I will. Just not right now. There's a lot going on. It's probably gonna take us a while to explore the Institute, too. Data. Institutionalized. I'm sure I could be exploring this place for a while.
Call this a clean floor. Are your visual receptors malfunctioning? Can you not see the grime and dust? Don't make excuses. You're clearly defective, and I intend to report this. Perhaps after you've been disassembled, we can use your components to make something that's actually useful. Spend enough time here, and you'll be sick to death of the word synth. I certainly am.
Well, that was a very reinforcing interaction of everything the above ground world says about the Institute.
Welcome to the Institute, sir.
Of course, sir. You look like an adult version of Shaun, I just realized.
Report anything suspicious to the SRB.
I'm fairly certain you are a version of Shaun. Higgs. I assume these are like living quarters then? Yeah, it looks like Institute living quarters. Whose place is this? Can I close the door? Unnamed. This is clearly Higgs. You know what? No, because his bathroom's over here. I was about to say he might have 2 rooms, but no. Alright, well, this is going to take a while to explore, so we might as well get exploring. Looks like the Institute is literally its whole... like a whole underground world. It's pretty decent sized. Ooh, wow, it's actually very decent sized. Institute Robotics. A lot of things going on. Till next